Hello there, Loving Without Boundaries community. This is Kitty Shambliss. Happy Friday to you, wherever you are in the world. And you might be seeing this on several different platforms. So if you are seeing this inside our online community on Facebook, which is called Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom, we want to say thank you for being here. We are over 14,000 people strong in our community and growing, and we are delighted to have you here. If you are seeing us on a different social media platform, hello, great to be speaking with you today. And if you are looking for a community, please know that you can join that group of people. That is, I think it's over 14,300 people or so within our online community. You can go to Facebook, do a search for Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom. We are there supporting each other, loving on each other, celebrating everybody's successes. You can think of it as a support group and a how to create open relationships that are healthy and sustainable over the long term. I'll share with you here, I often hear from some people who are maybe outside of that community, maybe looking in, there can be this myth. This is just an interesting thing I've noticed, that folks might think that practicing polyamory or open relationships does not last. It does not work. And I can speak for myself, and I can also share some other anecdotes of other people. But for myself, I have been with my husband for 21 years as of 2 weeks from now. 21 years. We've been married for almost 18 of those years. We've been in some form of a consensual and non-monogamous relationship for about 19 or so of those years, and I've identified as polyamorous for about 14 or so years during that time frame. And my other partner, he lives here with us. He's a nesting partner of mine. We've been together, it will be 9 years this coming fall. And he is married to his wife for 30 years. So I just want to give you some quick stats there just to illustrate that this absolutely can work 1000%. It's not necessarily easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And that's exactly why I am so completely passionate about the work that I do. And I honor you for being here and seeking out guidance and help. And speaking of seeking out guidance, today is talking about how to pick the best coach or mentor out there for you. There are a lot of counselors, there are a lot of therapists, there are a lot of coaches and mentors in this space that are growing by the day. It's incredible. As this community is growing, so are the helpers. Look for the helpers. So it is important to keep it real, though, and give you some ideas about how to find the best one for you. Just like there are great doctors and not so great doctors in every profession, right? That's the same thing with this profession of coaching. There are some great coaches who do have credentials and have really been trained and are really passionate about what they do. And there might be some other people who maybe don't have the proper training, or they're maybe just experimenting to see if that is the right profession for them, or maybe they're not doing it full time. So that's some of the things that we'll be talking about today. So I did start my blog. It was back in December of 2012. That was my first Loving Without Boundaries blog. So that's been well over 11 years now. And I started my podcast, Loving Without Boundaries, back in 2015. So that's going on 9 years now. And in terms of coaching, I've been doing this for about 10 years. And in the beginning, I was one of the very few coaches that was serving the larger open relationship, polyamorous, and also those specializing in the LGBTQ plus community within that framework at the time. And now there are so many more who are out there. And some of them, you can ask these different questions that we'll be going over. Do they have any training? Where did they get those training? Do they know how to get results? And just to help you understand, in the coaching field, it is generally a not very regulated industry, but there are some ways that you can get training. There is something called the ICF, the International Coaching Federation, and that is a really important organization to do its best to help regulate that industry, to help make sure that people are getting outstanding results. They do really care, so that you can see if somebody is truly a professional, because that's what it's really about. So, just to think about when you are looking for a coach, a lot of coaches might have two different skill sets. One is they may understand some strategy, some tools, maybe some things that they're teaching. And then the second skill set is they may know a little bit about psychology, which means mindset, the beliefs that are underneath why somebody is either not taking action or is taking action. But there's another level of getting to mastery. That's when somebody has really been in the trenches. They've really put in the time and the effort. They truly understand human behavior and how to get people an outcome that they come for. And that's really imperative. And then another element is having a structure and a system to be able to maintain and start to strategize in a proven way how to get those results. And that's something that I've been working on for the decade that I've been doing this. So let's talk about what are some things you can look for when you are seeking out a coach. So that you, because at the bottom line, it's all about you getting the results that you want to see in your relationships, so that you are living your most fulfilled, happy, passionate life, where you're getting your needs met, where you are really leaving a legacy for yourself and feeling truly satisfied and fulfilled. So, the first question to be able to ask when you are interviewing a coach is, have they created the results you want for themselves? Yes or no? And are they willing to talk about that? Because sometimes you might see when people are holding their cards very close to the vest. So, are they willing to be vulnerable? Are they willing to let you know, have they created satisfying and beautiful and amazing open style relationships for themselves? That's the first question. Then, have they been able to do that for other people, meaning working with other people? Because it's one thing to do it for yourself, but do you know how to coach other people to get an outcome? If so, how many? How long have they been doing this? So, yes or no. That really brings us to the third question. Have they done this for a long period of time? That's really two prongs to that too. Have they done it in their own life for a long period of time, been in successful, untraditional style relationships? And have they been practicing the coaching industry for a sufficient or a long period of time? That's a really important question. Or did they just open up shop yesterday or last week or last month or last year? That doesn't mean they're a bad person, but they're questions that you want to be an informed consumer, so that you're finding the best person for you. And number four, the last piece is they have to care about you as a human being. There might be folks out there that want to get on the big stages, or they're all about the money side of it. Really, how many clients do they have? Instead of really focusing on caring about you, your heart, you as an individual. So that these are all some things to really be paying attention to, because some people might have a bit of theory, but they don't know how to actually apply it, or really coach somebody else, or they may be fairly efficient at coaching, but meanwhile in their own life they are really struggling, and that could potentially be getting in the way of them being able to be truly present with you if there's some underlying doubts and things that could be going on. So, and they really need to care about you as well. So that's the really last piece. Are you resonating with them? Are you connecting heart to heart? Do you think they really have your back and your best interests in mind? Will they be there for you when the chips are down? And then another aspect, I would say a fifth question is, do they have a team? Because if you are really having an issue and you need somebody, what if your coach isn't available? Is there somebody else to reach out to that is a part of their team, so that you can really make sure that they are there for you? And if you are having a question, whether it's about technology or anything else, they are there to support you and to make sure that you're getting what you need. So let's talk a little bit about, what are those different credentials? What are the letters at the end of the name of a coach? So the ICF, that stands for the International Coaching Federation. They are an international organization that has coaches jump through hoops. big ones. As a matter of fact, there needs to be hours and hours of coaching to get to different levels. There's a test that needs to be taken, sometimes multiple times. There is ongoing mentorship that you need to prove that you have had by high level, mastery level coaches. So they are very regimented and professional. And what's interesting is there are, out of members there, so here's some statistics. In 2022, there was about 50,500 members of the ICF Coaching Federation. About 41,900 were holding a credential at all. 56% were at the ACC level. That's the lowest level. That stands for Associate Certified Coach. That only requires about 100 hours of coaching time. And then at the PCC level was 40%. So that's a mid-level. PCC stands for Professional Coaching Certified, and only 4% were at the MCC level. So that is Mastery Certified Coach, Master Certified Coach. And I'm deeply, deeply honored to say that I believe it was October of 2022, if I'm not mistaken, that I was certified at that mastery level. And when that happened, there was only 1,074 MCC coaches in the entire world. And for good reason. It takes longevity, it takes persistence, it takes somebody who is really building resilience and is truly passionate about the work that they are doing to get to that level. It took me, I want to say, about 7 years to get to that master MCC level, because you've really got to be in the trenches, continuing to get training and certification and building hours. Because I believe it was 2,500 hours that you needed to get to that level. I'd have to double check that. And at this point, have about 6,500 coaching hours under my belt. I'm honored to say it's been an absolute dream to coach the beautiful human beings that I get to serve in this journey and within this area of people who are coloring outside of the lines of heteronormative monogamy. So think about that. That's only 4% of ICF coaches. And in the world of coaches, I think there's about 70,000 coaches in the whole world. That's 1/10 of 1% who are at that master level. And what I can also say is it's highly unlikely that there are other master level coaches specializing in people who are building untraditional relationships. If there is one out there, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to have you come on my podcast. I'm happy to honor you because I know firsthand the hard work it takes to get to that level. So I've definitely been doing this a really, really long time. And now I also am at this place where I do have the formal education and the certification at that mastery level. That was definitely hard earned, and I honor any coach who has made it to that level. So anyone who gets there is, like I said, at that top 10th of 1% of all coaches, and it takes a crazy amount of hours to achieve that level, and it is even expensive for good reason. So it is a privilege, and I want to honor that, to be able to give back, to be able to serve. And part of the reason I'm able to do that is I do live in a polyamorous household. So I live with my husband and my other partner, my nesting partner as well. So because running your own business, there's going to be ebbs and flows, there's going to be ups and downs. And it is a privilege to be able to dive in. And I honor my partners for giving me the time and the space to get this education, to put in the effort required to serve my beautiful clients and to get the training and the expertise to do so. And I'm also deeply honored that this spring, alongside a colleague of mine, we also went through an additional training to become trauma-informed coaches. And that's really important because I find a lot of people in the space that I am in do have some sort of trauma, whether that is childhood trauma, maybe there has been sexual abuse or neglect in their past, maybe they've been in an emotionally abusive relationship. And if that's either your past or possibly even something that you are dealing with now, my heart absolutely goes out to you. And I definitely want you to know that there is hope. There is absolutely hope to get help with that. And that's exactly why I became trauma informed as well. So I've really lived this lifestyle myself. I've been honored to be able to be on different stages across the United States, given keynote speeches so that I can speak to people who are seeking help, to give you hope that help is out there. And it is truly a privilege to be an expert in this field. And I'm happy to help anyone who wants and needs this help. So if that is you, if you are looking for less fear and anxiety, more joy and connection, and better results in your relationships, even when you are coloring outside of the lines of heteronormative monogamy, know that help is out there. And I am happy to have a conversation with you. And if that is you, I lovingly invite you to book a call here at this link. You can check out more of my work if you'd like to at my website, lovingwithoutboundaries.com. And there will be an opportunity to book a call with me at lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. That will take you right into my calendar. Feel free to take a look in there and see what time slot works for you, that's convenient for you. If you don't see something that works, please shoot me an email and we'll do our best, to find a time slot between myself and my team to make sure that you get the help that you need. And then there'll be a very brief form for you to fill out that helps set us up for success on that call, so I can get a little context for your situation so we can really make the most use of our time and have a really authentic and honest conversation on that call so that I can see if we're a fit to work together. Is the time right? And if so, we can talk about crafting a step-by-step plan of what that looks like to help you get better results in less time, because that's what this is all about, right? It's about getting results, getting you the outcome that you came here for. And we honor that, and we want to serve you at a high level. If it's not a fit or the timing isn't right, I will let you know that as well. And I will do everything in my power to steer you in the best direction for you. I have lots of different people that I've interviewed on my podcast, and I'm happy to steer you to somebody else if I don't think I'm the right person to support you at that time. And lastly, if you are looking for community, don't forget, like I said at the beginning, or if you're watching the recording, you already heard it. But if you are looking for community, you can go on Facebook, do a search for Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom. And there we have over 14,000 people who are looking for support, education, really honoring each other, because this is not for the faint of heart often, building a fulfilling lifestyle when you are doing something that's untraditional, that can be very complicated, very tricky. And I honor you for being here, for being brave and courageous and living your most authentic life in a way that works for you. So, and also if you are looking to listen to a podcast, you can always follow us at Loving Without Boundaries. We are delighted to have a conversation with you there. And also, if you are looking to get on our mailing list so that you don't miss those podcasts, or when we are doing special events, we're starting to do local events here in the Washington, D.C. area. Our next one will be in September. We're announcing those on the website. So if you don't want to miss any of that, you can also join our email list at my website, lovingwithoutboundaries.com. So remember, community is everything. Happy Friday to you. Be safe. We hope you have a wonderful, beautiful weekend, and I will see you on our next Facebook Live or social media talk. So with that, have a beautiful weekend, and I'm sending you lots of love and light. Mwah.